G'day and welcome to a special edition of Gatekeeper Media's podcast, where you're going to hear three Aussie disc golfers talk about all things Pro Tour. My name is Paddy Robinson and I'm joined by Andrew Ferguson and Tim Bowen. Together, we make up the Tee Off podcast. You may have heard the three of us last year providing commentary for Gatekeeper Media on all the Australian major disc golf events. How are you boys?
Good to be back, mate. I feel a bit like Troy McClure when you're saying, like, you may remember us from this intro. But, yeah, shout out to Gatekeeper giving us a bit of airtime, talk about the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
And apologies in advance if you don't want to listen to us Aussie blokes harp on about Frisbee. But
Hey, and if we're talking a bit too fast,
we're very eloquent down in Australia. Very eloquent.
Yeah.
I was going to say, go get stuffed.
Yeah. No, I mean, we had the pilot episode released and it seemed to be okay. We're still trying to work out a few things. So there was one comment that said, this passes for disc golf media or content. No worries. Yeah, mate, it does. And we're on it. You're not. So
Like that.
No, but it seems there's been a bit of feedback actually given to Gatekeeper to get this going. So, mate, if a few people listen to it, happy days.
Now, boys, we had our first Disc Golf Pro Tour Plus event. Plus meaning it's a little bit better, kind of like an A+, better than just a simple A.
Is that what it means?
That's all. Yeah, it's a little bit more prestigious.
Well,
I think maybe the extra round. I'm not exactly sure on the specifics, but this was a Disc Golf Pro Tour Plus.
It's an extra plus 10 grand in the pot.
Extra cash, more prestige, more tourney points in terms of the DGPT Tour standings at the end of the year. So a little bit more to play for. This was, of course, the Prodigy Presents WACO in Texas. I think that's how you say it, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like taco?
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
WACO?
Yep.
Oh, WACO is way more fun.
Waco, Texas. 160 total players, 112 MPO, 48 FPO, pro purse of 103K, if you don't mind.
Ooh.
We had two big winners. Gannon Burr had another win after following up his good work at Memorial. And a new player to the FPO scene this year, Kristen Tatar. She's back, and she's back on top of the standings, getting a commanding win in FPO.
Yeah, keeping that run going.
It was very exciting. Not so much exciting on the FPO side of things because after the first couple of rounds, KT, well, she didn't exactly take the reins, but the others around her kind of crumbled a little bit. But the MPO side of things was just must-watch viewing. I think going into the final round, there were like 7 players within a couple of shots of the lead.
Oh, it was more than that. There's like the whole top 10.
I think it was like
2 strokes?
7 players within 4 shots. And then if you go back to like half a dozen shots, it's like another 12 players.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And of course it was Nicholas Antela, Luke Humphreys, Gannon Burr, and Nate Sexton were sort of tied at the top. They were the ones that were most likely to win. And I couldn't help but notice, hole 1 of the final round, the old boys looking a little shaky. I don't know if you noticed that, but it kind of looked like Luke Humphreys and Sexton were just super nervous off the tee box, and Gannon Burr just took control right from the get-go.
I did notice that, actually. There was there was a bit of talk, bit of chatter early on where we were saying, right, who's going to get up? And I did think Gannon was a red-hot crack, but I was like, I reckon Sexton could give this a real solid chance. I mean, it's a big open course. He's just got to hit his lines and, but...
He shanked. Boy, they look nervy.
Shanked.
And Humphreys, of course, 3-putted on the first hole.
Yeah.
Which he was pretty close on that C2 for birdie, but then he missed a very short comebacker, which was just a sign of the nerves. I think if you go back a little bit, I feel like a lot of the young players were like that when they got onto a lead card with Macbeth and Wysocki. They're like, this is my only chance to get a win. I've got to seize this.
Yep.
And now it's flipped. Gannon Burr should be in that position, but he's so good at such a young age. Now the old boys are like, this might be my only chance to win one for a while. And I think that's what it looked like to me. Someone sitting on the couch watching at home. That a bit of nerves.
Yeah, it's all in that plus, that little plus on the PT.
That's it. Really loved the work from the Finn, Nicholas Antela, though. He was taking
huge.
the reins. He was, of course, on chase card, so he was a couple of holes ahead of the boys. And he looked like the one to win, the one to beat at one stage.
Oh, he was hitting putts from everywhere.
I think
Like-
his back nine was just hot. I think he had 6 or 7, at least 6 birdies in a row.
Yeah.
And then obviously just, unfortunately,
Hole 17 got him.
Yeah.
Little
That-
skinny, OB.
Yep.
That let the door ajar.
There was I can't remember exactly what hole it was. I think it was like maybe 14 or 15, where his drive was coming into the green and it was going OB.
Yeah.
He hit it too hard, but it hit the barrier and came
Yeah.
back in.
Mate, how did that get in?
I know.
Yeah.
It didn't just hit the barrier, it hit like the foot of the
leg.
barrier.
Yeah, it hit the foot of the barrier.
Yeah, that was
and then it
wild.
looked like it didn't have enough curl, and then it curled in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so lucky.
That was sick.
And I'd never get that, Paddy. That's the kind of crap you get, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
man, that's
It's Aussie
Three
champ
time
love.
off.
That's three
all
time
day.
love.
It's like he's going to win this now.
Yeah,
That's
and that
all I
kind
can
of that was around about the time where Gannon actually got pinged. We got a warning for taking too long. There was a little bit. It looked like Gannon was running away from the other boys in Humphreys and Sexton early on, and he was just going to storm home. And then he had a time violation warning, and the very next hole, I think it was, he got a dirty spit out dead center. It was a Prodigy basket, and I couldn't help but think that was a little bit of backlash for the lawsuit.
What?
Yeah, I think it was
Wise words, Tim.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel it felt like a little bit of the karma train.
I think
hitting there,
remote control baskets. Shit.
but I couldn't help but think, a bit more flashing on the disc would have caught. But anyway, that's didn't need to be said. But after that point, my man Humphreys, Prodigy
Yeah.
sponsored, and got a chance to meet him down in New Zealand. Very, very cool dude. It was good to see him playing so well, and I was definitely rooting for him back
Mate,
home.
that-
I love the swagger on the guy.
Yeah.
The way he just strolls down the fairway, and it's just, he's so loose and
He's got a
I don't
strut.
know. He does.
The old
yeah.
one finger salute as well.
Yeah.
Bit of a
the jump putt too, like
Yeah.
super smooth.
He's a super smooth player.
Yeah.
Love to watch him. Yep.
Yeah, it looked like perfect conditions as well, which, those jump putts might be a little bit left, a little bit right, a little bit high normally with a bit of wind. But yeah, he was just canning them. And man, just getting those vibes, he looked like he was riding it all the way to the end.
Absolutely. He canned one on, I think it was on hole 16 to take a one-shot lead over Gannon.
Yeah.
And then he put 17 nice and close. Gannon, though, clutched up, hit like a 50, 60-footer to an elevated basket, OB behind.
Yeah.
And then it all came unstuck on hole 18 for Luke. He looked super nervy. Yanked one off the tee, put himself a bit out of position, and then unfortunately found an OB golf green. And, that was the shot that Gannon needed to tie things, but Gannon took it a step further. And I don't think there'd been many birdies on hole 18, but Gannon, he clutched up again and then hit, edge of circle putt for the win. It was huge.
Oh, dude, that approach shot, that was massive. Like
Yeah.
he looked like he was throwing uphill. He had to throw over a tree, really guarded green. And it wasn't even edge of circle. I think it was inside circle.
It was
wasn't
inside circle. It was like
Yeah.
20, 25 feet, though. It wasn't, it was
Yeah,
the kind of putt
not-
that
not a gimme.
my knees would be rattling, Paddy, on that one, particularly in the circumstances. I'd be shaking and I'd probably be hitting the tray, if I'm being honest. But he was just a man beyond his years, Gannon.
Yeah.
He's bloody 18
Oh,
or
that's
19
crazy.
or whatever he is.
How old's Nicholas? Do you know?
Yeah,
early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. I mean, obviously 1 and 2, both young blokes. And just going back to hole 17 as well, we know Nicholas unfortunately went OB.
He did, yeah.
And I don't know if you saw, but he opted to just lay up.
Smart boy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I thought at the time as well, smart play, 100%. You don't want another roll away or whatever's going on there.
Even though he has the beautiful skin of like a 6-year-old Finnish boy, he is pretty wise, young Nicholas.
But then, on the conversely to that, you've got, Gannon, who actually runs the putt, hits it, wins by a stroke.
Yeah.
So, you wouldn't fault Nicholas for choosing to lay up in those circumstances, but, you've just got Gannon with a different kind of mindset, just had to, he wanted to run it, hit it, and he hit it. So
He's a beast at putting, Gannon. He's an absolute fearless beast.
I feel like he's almost a bit yippy. Like,
Yeah.
not yippy. It's just his style seems to be a bit more jabby.
Well,
And
he
I feel like it looks like nerves, but maybe it's not. Maybe that's just his style.
he gets that pop, but it's a very strange technique. Like he pulls it into his left pocket, which means that it's never in line with the basket. It's very off axis, but he's just got it so dialed. That gives him that extra
there's no
pop and
flutter to that thing. It comes out
No.
perfect. It's it's awesome.
Came out of the tray perfect on hole 12 too, or whatever the hole it was at the spit out on.
We've talked about a lot of these young guys, and if you look at this top 10, like there's a lot of young guys there But I got to admit, like 4 rounds, this massive course, 2 courses actually, like with the Beast and the I can't remember what it was called, but
Lake Waco.
Lake Waco, yeah, all right.
Waco.
On the actual golf course, requiring these big bombs. There's a few people in this top 10 that I wouldn't have expected to be there.
Chris Dickerson, Greg Barsby, Ricky Wysocki, of course, he's going to be there. Casey White, Joel Freeman, and Nate Sexton.
Like, do you know, if you told me beforehand, like, hey, is Nate Sexton going to be, up there this year or actually like competitive for wins? I don't know. I don't know if I would have said yes. But
wasn't this the exact comp last year where he busted his cash streak?
Yeah, maybe.
I think he busted his 15-year cash streak at this very event last year. Don't quote me on that, but I have a feeling that's correct.
Las Vegas, maybe? Was it Las Vegas?
It might have been. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Anyway. But yeah, like it was great to see coming into that final round to see Nate on lead card. And, Barsby there as well. He was cashing some big putts too. Like, yeah, it's awesome to see those guys that are still there. They're still a presence. Yes, it's awesome to see the young dudes coming through, but yeah, I freaking love seeing. I honestly want to see more of those guys, like still there, still competing.
Absolutely, and that's probably a good segue into the FPO side of things because we of course had KT getting the win, but Owen Scoggins, one of the older, wiser heads in FPO, put in a very, very solid performance to take second place, and I thought that was huge from Owen because. She admitted herself in post-round interviews after a hot start to the tourney at the Beast, which is probably more suited to her style, nice flex forehands, good putting course. She was saying on the Lake Waco course, she doesn't have the big arm. She's not getting birdies. She's going to play boring golf and just stick to her guns. But I just want to point out, she shredded that course.
Yeah.
She putted 12 out of 13 C1X in round 2. And 83% in the final round, and put in 2 5-downs for 1,007 and 1,013 ratings on a course that she thought she might not get a single birdie on. It's huge.
Very handy.
I think along the FPO side of things, KT, it was good to see her back, good to see her get a win. She, of course, averaged 1,007, so she's a very good chance of being over 1,000 rated at the next update.
Mate, that round 3 though, shooting a 59.
Yeah, that was huge.
That's everyone else in the top 10 didn't shoot better than what? There's a 61 there, there's a 71 there, there's 66.
She's just ultra consistent though, isn't she? She's she wasn't amazing apart from round 3. She wasn't in the lead for the first half of the tourney. It was of course Ella Hansen, but she just doesn't capitulate. I felt like everyone else around her just had those holes where they didn't just make a little bit of a shank. They made a full Tim Bowen grip lock and make the worst possible mistake that you can. I mean, Ella, there's that triple Mando that Ella didn't even get close to making, which at her level, you really should be smashing that through most of the time, I would have thought.
Yeah, I wonder if it was what it was, whether it's a bit of mental fatigue, a bit of, physical fatigue. I mean, to shoot a 59, a 58, and then go 70.
Yeah.
And then a 69 to sort of back it up.
Look at the ratings. She shot 1,008, 1,035, and then she closed out with a 953 and a 947.
Yeah.
And if you look back to Waco last year, she had the lead. She was going to romp home against KT and unfortunately choked on hole 18. Grip blocked it, went OB long, which is just such an unforced error. And unfortunately, I think Ella, she'll be having nightmares about this one again because she was in the box seat and she finished as low as a tie for 6th place with Hannah Bloomross.
Yeah. Bit of a shame, but good to see that she's got some, big positives. Like, that's 2 huge opening rounds.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Now, Paddy, I was trying to segue you in there because you do have a note on our run sheet here about Hannah Bloomross, which, a bit of a sniping if I do say so myself.
Oh, mate, not not from me. I just noticed it. Like we like to, in the past we've talked about Evelina's putting, but man,
Let's keep it real.
Keeps it real.
Fergie and I came into the box today, and Paddy was like, "Did you see Hannah's 4-putt? Did you see it?"
It's just nice to see someone else 4-putt. I mean, you want to see me 4-putt? Go check out
Park Media's coverage of the which one was it? The Ruffy Rumble.
Ruffy Rumble, yeah.
Tasty 4-putt. Maybe I'll send that to Hannah. Might make her feel better. But
Well,
hers, was yours as close as hers? She was like 15 feet. For the
No,
first one.
I airballed. She was within bullseye on hers.
If it's any consolation, okay, I never actually 4-putt because my disc's always under the basket when I hit the cage. So that's just, it's a fail-safe.
Notorious tray slapper.
Yeah. But look.
Who's Trey? I like her. No, okay.
I mean, sometimes it humanizes your heroes a little bit, but at the same time, it's so painful to watch. Like, so painful to watch. There's just such a disconnect, and man, I don't know how many times I've been there where there is that complete disconnect. The mind and your hand are doing two completely different things, and it was pretty rough.
Yeah, that's no good
Pretty
at all.
rough. Yeah.
Couple of other notes. We had Ricky Wysocki copping a 2-stroke penalty to start the second round. Very, very strange. So PDGA has a new rule whereby you need to be at the tee box 5 minutes, a full 5 minutes before your tee time. Ricky was there 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So copped a penalty. And
Do we know who it was?
someone dobbed him in. We
Yeah.
don't know who it was.
I
I've seen
heard
some-
KJ's name.
There's lots of
tossed
theories.
around.
Lots of theories.
Yeah.
I heard Kyle Klein.
Someone put a meme out there about Kyle Klein, and Klein was like, "What the hell? I wasn't even on his card."
Someone took the piss a bit and said Zach Melton.
And he was
but
actually
he was
on it.
actually on the card. But they disclosed later, like, no, we actually didn't realize you were on the card.
The rumor
we don't
about-
think it was you.
The rumor about KJ was because KJ copped the very same penalty at chess.com apparently.
Oh, right.
So, but yeah, it's shocking, isn't it? 2 strokes, very, very harsh from Ricky.
I mean,
I did see in his socials, he did kind of, he explained the situation and he took full fault. He knows the rules and things like that. And I don't know, but they do need to address some way to make sure that this is, I know someone's talked about shot clocks at the practice baskets that's synced up with clocks on the first tee and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. 30 seconds.
I'd like I mean, we've been at some where they announce, like, can the 10-15 card make your way now? Like, I think that's fair to announce. And if they announce that and you're not there within, a couple minutes, then, okay, come on.
Rock up. Don't you want to watch the card in front of you tee off, get a bit of a win rate? Or is that just me?
No, I do that.
I'm there.
I'm there.
All right. Well, anyway, he copped a penalty and he probably won't do that ever again.
Yeah.
Now, Paige Pierce, she was actually playing pretty good golf at Waco.
Mate, there's a 1,000 rated round in there.
There's also a 12 on the scorecard. I just want to point that out.
You're telling me I'm sniping Henna.
Mate, I'm very well known. People call me 10 Bowen because I took a 10 on a hole once.
One time.
I'm still getting called 10 like 6 months later. She took a 12. So, Paige, that's no good. It was on hole 16 in round 2, but she actually birdied that on round 4, which by my maths is a 9-stroke improvement. So, well done to Paige.
Do you know what that says to me? That just says there's some kind of stupid OB on that hole.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, and she's thrown OB. Yeah.
It does reek of stubbornness, though. Once you've sent a couple in the OB, surely you do something different. I don't. I just take a 10. But what do you guys think of that course, though? What do you think of Lake Waco?
To be honest,
I'll give you Paul Macbeth's quote. It's a golf course.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. I actually didn't think it was too bad. Like, I kind of don't mind these tourneys where you've got 2 courses. One, highly technical, shorter, trying to test all the shot shapes and test your putting skills. And then a bomber course. I feel like they complement each other pretty well. And I thought, as far as golf courses go, this one wasn't too bad. Tee pads, though, no good.
Trash,
No
yeah.
good.
I saw some pretty funky ones. Who was it jumping up on the thing? Oh, no. It was just ridiculous. Like, I felt like he was jumping up about a foot.
Yeah. I think Chandler Fry did it, and Ben Calloway gave him the Mario jump noise.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, boing.
Oh, that's amazing.
They were big pads, though. They were pretty wide and long, but...
Not some of the FPO ones. There was one of those little red ones. I was like, that's looking very dicey. And it was like one where they had to stop on a dime at the nose of the pad because there was water on the other end of it. It's like, oh God.
The course. I think if you're going to play 4 rounds, like, did they play? How many times did they play that course?
Twice.
They did play it twice. I don't know. I guess the reason why they played that last is so they could get more of an audience. I'm guessing that's the main reason.
No, it's 100%.
Yeah.
Sell more tickets, and as far as like, on that front, it's a good success. But
yeah, I mean the first one is such a good, like, the Beast is such a good disc golf course. Like, super fun, tight lines, wooded. Like, the OB is OB, like natural OB everywhere. I love that course. Love watching it. So yeah, it's. I mean, is it bringing in the wholeness of the winner? I don't know. Did Gannon blitz? He didn't really blitz to go and get the win. It was kind of, he did play well across both courses, but yeah, I just find it boring to watch, especially for a final round. Like, yeah.
It's hard to watch on coverage too. You don't really know where the discs are going and what they're aiming for when they're throwing big hyzers like that. But look, it wasn't too bad. A couple of aces we've got to shout out. AB got a really cool skip ace through the triple mando, and Scott Stokely, big forehand into the wind, rung one up, which was awesome to see. Other than that, you got a note here, Paddy, Zach Arlinghouse. What have you got to say about old boy Zach?
So we kind of made a mention of this beforehand. So one thing that isn't really happening anymore on the PDGA with the change from UDisc is there used to be the cutoff line.
The bloody cut line's gone.
Yeah.
I'm tracking the live scores. I'm watching the scores change as I'm watching the coverage.
Yeah.
There's no cut line. I didn't know who was making the cut, who was missing the cut.
Yeah,
Sort it out, PDGA.
It's a bit trash.
Sort it out.
So we're going in, we're having a look, and there was a cut line that went into all the players that played finals. And going down, there's one player who made the cut but didn't get paid, and that was Zach Arlinghouse.
No, surely that's a mistake. So he made the cut, and the cut's not the cash line.
Yeah, I think
that's pretty stiff.
There's a lot of ties, and I think that might be what actually led him to not get paid.
So he had to rock up for an extra day and then get paid.
Yeah,
poor Zachy.
Missed it by one stroke, I think. If he had he was a 15 down, and Matty O was a 16, and he got 400.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oof. And you're right. He's the only player who played that final round without a cash mark next to his name.
So I think that's kind of special, to be honest.
Well done, Zach. That's a rare honour.
One more notable as well. Jared Stoll.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys saw this throw?
So if you go all the way down the list, you will find Jared Stoll.
Well, yeah, we'll find him dead last. Yeah. That's one thing. That's okay. But Mr. Shoulder Reconstruction himself, he's... Oh, is it 17? 17.
18.
18. The 18th, yeah. Putting a tomahawk straight over the top.
At the Beast.
So 18, over the water?
The water.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, over the... No, not 18. Oh, 17. No, he did 17, he cut the corner.
Oh, over the rough. I've seen
rough.
him do that. Yep. And he missed the putt last year, but he got it this year?
Yeah.
He got it this year.
Well done, Jared.
Yeah. So there you go.
And then...
Dead last, but that's fine.
Well, on 18, he did as well. I saw a video of him doing it too. And
over the water?
Over the water. And he hit like a edge of circle 2 putt. It was a big putt. But he did that too.
Got 2. It's a par 3 now. That hole is hard. Yeah. I saw a big germ posting saying he's played 22 20 rounds on the Beast and he got his first 2 this time around.
Yeah, wow.
After hitting the tray and rolling OB back in 2021. Oh. That's a bit of goof.
I think the only other player that could maybe throw that style shot, Vili Pippo.
Vili Pippo?
Vili Pippo.
I've heard of Vili.
He's the one who threw the Araby. He threw the Araby Epic, which is like this off-center disc.
The shoehorn disc.
I'm
calling it the shoehorn disc because it looks like a shoehorn. Looks 100%. Like the apparatus that old people use to help get their feet into their shoes.
Yes, yep.
That's what it looks like.
100% does. And he used to fling that thing and do this. I think he was like some sort of, javelin
thrower?
Yeah. Anyway.
Didn't he throw, there was a par 6, you've told me?
Oh, no, I saw him throw it in, it was at Java, but it wasn't the whole one. Yeah. No, sorry. It wasn't. Was it Skellefteå? I forget now. Anyway, he did some stupid stuff with that disc.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, we're off topic. I want to move on to the very next comp, which is the PDGA presents the Open at Austin. But before we do that, Not a Disc Golf Pro Tour event, but I thought we should just briefly touch on the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. It, of course, was taken out by Gannon Burr and Owen Scoggins because KT wasn't here. But I think what's been doing the rounds before WACO popped up was cupcakes.
Mate, yeah.
Jacob Cordis.
He got called out.
By Terry Miller.
By
the disc golf dude himself.
Terry did not like doing all that editing, clearly.
So, we've all seen it. So, he took an average of 48 seconds per putt, apparently, which is a hell of a long time, Paddy. 48 seconds is an eternity when you've got the rest of your car mates standing around in dead silence, in just pure stoicism, not moving, not making a little ruffle of anything. Mm-hmm. You're making a wait a whole bloody minute to tap in.
My wife cooks actual cupcakes quicker than that. So that is horrendous. I did hear though. Apparently they did have a chat. Terry Miller did afterwards, and he was saying that he just kind of gets nervous and he just can't let go of the disc.
Yeah, he always hits the putt afterwards too, but. I feel like he was called. I think Uli called him in the past, and then his C1X percentage went to shreds. So just call the man.
He got called.
He
did get called eventually, and and then he 3-4 putted or something like that, which kind of sucks. But I mean, dude, that's something you can practice.
I can't believe he didn't get called straight away though. Now that the whole card can be put on the clock, just call the man. I think that's the general consensus of the disc golf community. Is I would have called that straight away. Yeah, I don't know if you would have. It's awkward when you have to say it to someone's face in the middle of a tourney. Yeah, mate, do you mind just hurrying along a little?
I think it brings it back. Like I know this wasn't a Pro Tour event, but I don't really like the self-policing, to be honest, especially if it's on the Pro Tour. Like I think at golf they do it where they have. Officials or something around, and I mean if he's taking that long on the green, like it's going to delay stuff, and if you start to see like little backups or delays or whatever, or someone maybe they can message, or you've got an official walk around, whatever it is, have someone there and they can call it. Like it's just when you're a player, you're in there. I just want to play, man. Like, yeah, all right, we can do our scores and all that sort of stuff. And if it's getting pretty tight with scores, I'm there thinking about and worrying about this other player and blah blah blah. I've got enough to worry about than actually doing this sort of stuff and then causing confrontation, then putting my game off. It's annoying.
Well, I mean, if you add it up, I mean, it's a good 16 minutes. Of putting. And that's if he doesn't miss a putt. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of time.
And
the problem is he does it for like the 10, 15 footers. And it's like, mate, just step up and tap that in. Yeah. I watch Isaac Robertson putt and it's just a joy to watch. The man just steps up, slings it across his body, dead center every time.
Yeah. The poor cameras struggle to bloody catch him half the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
anyway, let's move on.
We need that bloke from who called Nico, Peter Joe Rules. Come in, call it out. Yeah.
Do you reckon Jacob get in his face? Doesn't look quite as. No. I mean, you don't get called cupcakes if you're an angry bloke, so maybe he's handled a little bit better than Nico did. Anyway, let's move on. Disc Golf Pro Tour presents the Open at Austin, presented by Flight Factory Discs. I mean, looking back at last year, KT didn't play, I don't think. No, she did play. She finished 5th. But last year was taken up by Paige Pierce and Gannon Burr, of course. So I'm going to ask for some tips, boys, but I'm going to take Gannon Burr and KT off the table because they are the obvious, they're the $1.10 favourites.
Didn't KT play with her left hand last year?
Oh, was that the one she was hurting?
No, I don't know.
Something's got to explain that.
5th place. What?
It was taken up by Paige. And Katrina Allen was there too, so...
Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, man.
Who are we tipping?
The Finns have come out strong. I'm loving them at the moment. Yeah, I'll say Nicholas. Mm-hmm. I think he's due one.
Yeah.
He's definitely
not a bad tip. Calvin's back. Calvin pulled out of WACO because of an injury, so it's good to see him back. Hopefully he does start. He finished 3rd last year alongside James Proctor and just a shot behind Simon Lizotte.
I mean, AB's got to be on your boy's mind, surely.
Yeah.
AB's a red hot tip for this one. Isaac Robertson's high up the list, but he actually missed the cut at Waco. Astonishingly missed the cut.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
I'm going to go a little left field and say Joel Freeman.
Okay.
He had a good start, actually.
I
Played
know.
very well at Waco.
He did.
Yeah.
Yep. Bit of a smoky, but yeah, I like
All
him.
right. Go on. And Timmy?
Simon. Yeah, he finished second. I can't take Gannon, so why not just take Simon?
All right. Fair enough.
Also didn't play quite well at Waco, but he'll be right. He'll sort himself out.
What about the girls?
Girls, I like Missy. I'm going to jump ahead and take Missy Gannon.
Sure. All right. I'll say Evelina.
Good shout.
Did you say Ons off the table? No.
Owns there. Yeah.
Ons, yeah. Yeah, I'll go on.
Cool. All right.
Kind of surprised. Yeah, Paige. I don't know. It'd be good to see. This is a good opportunity for Paige to come out strong. Should be confident. Had a win last year.
Yep. No more 12s and see what happens. All right, that brings us to the end of episode 2 of the Pro Tour podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. If, we are still workshopping this a bit. So if you want to leave us a comment on some feedback or send it into Gatekeeper Media, we really appreciate it. And we can tweak this so that you enjoy listening to it.
Don't hurt my feelings, though.
Yeah.
Be kind.
up.
Be kind.
Be kind. We are disc golf content approved. No. All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Fergie. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, guys.
And until next time, we hope you get out and play some disc golf with your mates.